Hello and welcome to the Rotary eClub of Silicon Valley's program for this week. My name is Mitty Chang. I am president of this Rotary Club. Every week we bring to you a new program about education, innovation, entrepreneurship, or humanitarian service. We're very excited this week to have two program guests with us who will introduce briefly. But first, I'd like to go around the room and have us do a little bit of self-introductions. The first person I see I'm point to is Stephen Dow, who is our president-elect. Stephen, if you'd like to introduce yourself, please.
Hey guys, so president-elect here, and this is Stephen. I work as a financial advisor, so I'm definitely excited to be here to hear about the good work that Tracy and Daniel do with children and young adults. So look forward to hearing about that.
Perfect. And then below Stephen, we have Monique.
Hi, it's Monique. I am a librarian. I'm the library director for the Palo Alto City Library. I met Tracy as part of an executive leadership group called the Chief Executive Program, and it is sponsored by National Arts Strategies. So it's for leaders in cultural organizations, arts, dance, museums, all kinds of things, including libraries.
Perfect. And next to Monique, I see Ashish. Ashish, if you'd like to introduce yourself, please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ashish Basare. This is my first e-meeting, and I'm very excited to be here. By day, I am the chief scientist at a scientific consultancy, and I'm excited to kind of talk more about my educational startup that we will also be hopefully talking about soon.
Perfect. And underneath Ashish, I see Shags. Shags, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, Stephen Shagrin, better known as Shags, a really old fart of a Rotarian and one of the charter members of this club. Used to do what Stephen Zhao does, which was work in financial services, but I now shifted over to more of the psychology side of money, why people do what they do around money. And I work with a lot of youngsters and young adults in helping them to put their head on straighter for themselves and get away from the mom and dad influence, which has been a challenge to them. So I'm really looking forward to hearing what you have to say.
Hey.
And I'm in Walnut Creek.
And you what?
I'm in Walnut Creek, California, not too far from some people here.
Gotcha.
Nice. And next to Shags, we have Roman. Roman, if you'd like to introduce yourself, please.
Sure, yeah. Hi, I'm Roman Kazantsev. I'm a postdoc at Lawrence Berkeley National Lab, working in the Chemical Sciences Division. And at the moment, Ashish and I are trying to get our company off the ground, and we'd love to tell you guys more about it.
Exciting. Well, thank you guys for joining us. And thank you, Monique, for introducing us to Tracy and Daniel, who are our guest speakers this week. Tracy is the founder and artistic director of Celebrate the Beat, and Daniel is the executive director of Celebrate the Beat. Motivated by the belief that the arts have the unique power to help children discover their potential, Tracy founded Celebrate the Beat in Colorado. So she was the Colorado Associate of National Dance Institute, and Celebrate the Beat currently partners with 30 schools throughout Colorado and also in, I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce this right, but Nayarit, Mexico, inspiring 4,000 children a year. Tracy is also the artistic associate for NDI, and she's also a master teacher conducting residencies in New York City public schools and developing teacher training workshops. She's also been an actress as well as a dancer, and has had a wonderful career, and also was the associate producing the Tony Award-winning Broadway production Spring Awakening and American Idiot. I'm very excited to have Tracy here. And then Daniel, who's executive director, has had extensive experience in nonprofit education, administration, and management. He began teaching in 1994 in Colorado and quickly moved to administration. And he became director of several programs and eventually head of school. Dan served on several boards and also including education and arts organizations. He received his bachelor's degree from the University of Colorado and a master's in education administration from Regis University. In 1999, Dan was recognized as one of Colorado's top 40 teachers. That's super exciting. Tracy, Daniel, please take it away from here. Thank you for being here.
Okay. Well, we are thrilled to be here. And thank you, Monique, for introducing me to all these wonderful people and to this incredible technology I'm so excited to explore. So the picture you're seeing is Celebrate the Beat in Action. We go into schools and we work with entire grades of children during the school day to underscore the belief that the arts are just as important as every other subject, as math and science. It's not a pull-out program. We're founded in the belief that the arts have the unique capacity to really transform children's lives. And our classes, we call them joyfully rigorous. They give children an opportunity to find a personal standard of excellence that then trickles out into all aspects of their lives. It's incredibly physically active, so they're getting their heart rate going. Today, I just sat with a group of teachers out in Longmont, Colorado at a new partner school. We've been teaching 4 classes a day there for the last 4 days, and every single of the classroom teachers, 3rd and 5th graders, said to me, already the children are more focused when they return to our classrooms. So it's dance, it's music, there's live music in every single class. What you're seeing on the screen right now is a performance we did at the Vail Amphitheater, opening for the Vail International Dance Festival, which is part of our outreach program in Eagle, Colorado. I'm going to get there in a minute. First, I'm going to go to the next slide. So that's our roots. We started that's at 9,000 feet above altitude in a town called Crested Butte. We started out in rural Colorado. I was hired to be the artistic director of an outreach program for Aspen Santa Fe Ballet in Aspen, Colorado. And from there, we grew to going to Crested Butte because our current executive director, Dan Rubinoff, came to see what we were doing in Aspen, and he said, can I bring this to Crested Butte? He was then a director of a school in Crested Butte. So that's how we grew to being in other places in rural Colorado. This is a shot of us in Vail, Colorado, in Eagle County. And that's where we expanded next. So I'm sort of doing the history of Celebrate the Beat. We started 16 years ago, serving 150 children up and down the Roaring Fork area. And now we serve 4,000 children throughout Colorado and in Mexico. How did we get there? Well, we were asked to become a summer program, an outreach program for the Vail International Dance Festival. We did a 1-week program with about 7 children who we, had to find in the trailer park across the street, entice them to come. They were like, what is this? Well, what happened is the Vail Valley Foundation, which is the funding organism of that whole area, came and watched classes and saw this program and said, we need this, we're gonna invest in it. So they asked us to come back and do a 3-week residency that year in April. Then they asked us to do a half-year program. Then they asked us to do a full-year program. And now we're in 10 schools up and down what they call the I-70 area. So it's a lot of different towns. It's Gypsum, it's Eagle, it's all those towns along that corridor. And this is a guy who's leaping named Little Buck who dances with our children. So it's all about bringing the best of everything to children so that they grow up to be the best. We have world-class musicians who play in every class. So every class has live music. Next, you see more children in the area of the Vail Eagle area. So these are normal school children. We meet them when they're in 3rd grade, 4th grade, and they, it's when we first meet children, they don't know what a stretched arm is. We really, and I always say that Amy Cuddy, the TED Talk, she gave a great TED Talk that if you stay in this position for 30 seconds and then a minute and then 2 minutes, it actually changes the physiology in the brain. And so I add this to say that really the work we're doing, it can look really just sort of fun and joyful, and it is that, but it's also working on the brain on such a deeper level. And that's what the classroom teachers and principals keep saying to us. So this is just a great shot. So every child, runs and leaps and gets that moment where they're front and central. This is a child who has learning challenges, right? But who, in the dance class, everyone becomes equal. Everyone, it's like a totally, the best word is equal ground for every single child to excel. So again, the banners you see in the background are painted by our children, and we ask artists to come in and work with them. So it becomes a visual art experience as well. And the band in the back, we have live music in every show. So again, Yo-Yo Ma, this was doing a program with the Bravo Music Festival, and Yo-Yo Ma worked with our children, which, these children didn't necessarily know who Yo-Yo Ma was before this, and so it's exposing them to classical music, to big ideas, to experiences that they can own and they can feel great about. Again, a wonderful shot of our children performing. So we have themes. This says Lennon in the background. Every year we base our in-school classes on a curricular theme. So that year it was John Lennon. This year it's poetry. Last year it was systems of the body. And so I'm going to backtrack a little bit. We go into a school. We might teach every day. And at the end of those 3 weeks, we do a performance that has a theme. Sometimes we're in a school where we teach once a week for a whole school year. At the end of that time, there's music playing. Wow. That was crazy. I have no idea how the music. Sorry, everyone. Be quiet. Be quiet. Be quiet. Be quiet. Ah! Wow, technology is going crazy over here. Sorry. Okay. So theme-based programming, and at the end of the 3-week residency where we teach every day, or 2 weeks where we teach every day, there's a performance that has live music and a lot of joy and excitement. So now we go to Mexico, the next place we were brought to. And I love that, the growth of Celebrate the Beat has been very organic. It's basically people saying to us, you're doing profound work and we need it and we want it and we're gonna bring you there. So the woman who's currently our board chair has a passion for Mexico. She lived there for 13 years and she had a home there, and she said, come. We went for a week. The next year, we were invited for 2 weeks. The next year, for a half year. And now we have a 7-month program in Mexico in an area called Nayarit, where we're working, where the teaching artists are local Mexican dancers and musicians who we have trained in our methodology. And the program down there is run by one of our master teaching artists who goes back, lives in Mexico for 7 months, and then teaches here for the rest of the year. So this is a performance in Nayarit. We work with really children from K through 8th grade. The outdoor setting in Mexico is necessary. I really want a grant from Nike to get sneakers for everyone, because those are very hard to come by. So there's one of our local teaching artists. And there's a guest teacher we brought. Okay, so now here we are in Denver, Colorado, where we currently are working in Adams 14 and Adams 50 in Commerce City, which is an area with a lot of challenges. And the programming has been really thrilling. So we're doing residency programs where we're in a school for 3 weeks or 2 weeks at a time. And we're also doing full year programming in, as I mentioned, Adams 14 district. And this was from our most recent residency in Placebridge Academy, a school where children are refugees. And they speak 69 languages, and they're from all over, really all over the world. And they come to this school. So that was a thrilling partnership. This is another recent program here at a school called Skyline Elementary. And this is our group in Adams 14 at last year's performance. And this, so we were invited to the Colorado Healthy Schools Luncheon, and this was a performance, an outreach program. So what we do is, so we go into school and we work with every single child, no matter what kind of challenges they might have, and they become a part of it, and they transform and they grow and they blossom alongside with their classroom teacher. And then we invite certain children who we feel would love an extra challenge to be part of our after-school team. We call it the Dream Team. Dancers reaching excellence, artistry, mastery. And those children become our performing troupe, where we do performances outside. Next week, we're doing one for the Colorado Association of School Boards at the Broadmoor. So 1,000 educators are going to be there, and it's going to be terrific. So this, a couple of years ago, we were at the Boys and Girls Club doing a summer program, and Misty Copeland was performing with our children up in Eagle County that week. And so she came down and met our children in Denver. And of course, it was very moving because that's where Misty Copeland got her start, at a Boys and Girls Club. And we did our first Summer Institute last year at a school, a crumbling middle school out in Adams 14 in Commerce City. And, we got all these ballet clothes donated, and the ballet bars. So we basically transformed this very old middle school into a haven of art. They learned the beginning of George Balanchine's Serenade. They learned the music was Tchaikovsky. So it was really a fabulous experience. They learned drumming, they learned hip hop. We did a beautiful Cole Porter piece. So really expanding the breadth of knowledge of art and music. And that is from a couple weeks ago, a performance we did in Sherrillwood, a new partner school. And I am going to end there, and I can't wait to answer your questions. What's that?
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Tracy. If you could get a chance to end your share screen, and we'll be able to see everyone's lovely faces. Perfect.
Got it.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that presentation. So we'll have a chance right now for everyone on the call right now to ask you guys some questions. So if you guys are looking to ask a question, you can do either the digital hand raise with Zoom or just maybe unmute yourself, and I'll eventually call on you. I'm going to start off with the first question. Tracy, I was wondering if you could take us a little bit back to your original origin for Celebrate the Beat, and tell us a little bit about some of the original struggles that you had forming the organization. And maybe that's a little bit more logistical than anything else, but what were some of the initial roadblocks?
Oh my God, that's going to take an hour. So what I left out in the call was really talking about the roots of the program, which is National Dance Institute, an extraordinary program that was started by Jacques D'Amboise. You mentioned it in your introduction. So what I had going for the program was this extraordinary pedagogy. I'd worked with Jacques. I still work with him for many, many years, steeped in that award-winning, really effective work with children. So I always felt I had the product. Never was it a struggle to feel I had great stuff to offer. That was never. What was challenging was coming to a community, I was, part of Aspen Santa Fe Ballet, a wonderful company who supported us in those early years, for the first year. And then it was time, for me to go out on my own and start my own program, right? So what that entailed was forming a board of directors, getting a 501c3, and then continuing to do all the busyness rather than just be able to do what I love to do, which is teach, work with the children, work with teachers, teach teachers. So basically for the first 8 years of this program, when I was just in Aspen, Colorado, Roaring Fork Valley, and Crested Butte, it was really just me. And I was bone tired. I was, to use the word praying, I'll just use it. I was praying for another teaching artist to help me do the programming, do all the administrative work, and an executive director to write the grants and keep track of the contracts and all that. And so basically when Dan Rubinoff, who I love and adore, came to me and said in his cool mountain way, I'm changing my life a little bit and I have more time. And if you want some help, I fell over. And that changed everything. And that was 2008. And from then on, the struggles feel manageable in that I have a partner who is brilliant. I have teaching artists who have grown to be superstars. Every time I see them in action now, I'm just sort of can't believe it, right? I've had the opportunity to train people and then now they've just taken off. The struggles are the ones that I think we all face in the not-for-profit. The struggles are financial. The struggles are not having enough consistent funding to be able to know that I am going to offer my star teaching artists that work for the next 4 years, to be able to have a teacher training institute where I can know that then there'll be a job for these extraordinary people, to have extra help in administration where we're not all taxed, to have that extra person when we're teaching after school who can make those phone calls to the parents, who can be that extra liaison to our families. I always feel like we all need at least 5 more hours every day to just do the work of reaching out to everybody to know that they understand where their child needs to be and to understand the real essence of who we are and what we do. So does that answer?
Yeah, absolutely. That was a good piece of story too. Thank you for sharing that, Tracy.
Yeah, of course.
Monique, I saw your hand up first. And don't forget you're muted.
I know, I'm trying to mute and clear my throat at the same time. So I have to say that when I met Tracy a month ago, we were talking about some of these struggles and where she has been and where she's going with this program. And one of her comments to me was, I just wish I had more contact in Mexico. I wish I had, a way of talking about what we're doing. And I said, well, I'm in Rotary and they're always looking for speakers and they're always often looking for partners for projects in other countries. And, education of children is especially important. So it's one of the reasons I suggested Tracy as a speaker, because I know her enthusiasm is beyond infectious, and her dedication is great. So Tracy, looking forward, what can we do to help, or what kinds of things do you are you interested in for long-term support, whether it's in Colorado or in Mexico? And as an eClub, we do have members all over the world. So, I put that out there as a possibility for something, but I didn't know if you had a specific ask.
Definitely. We are looking for funding for both Colorado and for Mexico. We're also looking to grow our way to become sustainable in terms of funding. We're looking for, it's such a funny circle, right? Because we need to have a director of development, to really take on bringing our ability to fundraise to the next level. But it's a chicken and egg situation. We need the funding to have that development director, right? And we would love to grow our board with people who can really tell our story and bring those supporters in.
Perfect. Thank you so much for an answer, Tracy. And we'll definitely connect after the call as well about maybe getting you some more connections in Mexico with the Rotary and some other Rotary clubs. Shags, I saw your hand up next.
Yes, let me unmute. First, a question for Roman. Roman, is your sister Kira from Walnut Creek?
No, actually, she's not. That was the person who won the
Miss America.
Miss America last year. Yeah, I did. I thought for a while that my name was unique, and then she won the thing, and I was like, oh, I guess there are other people with name Kazantsev out there in the world. So no, she is not related to me.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry about that because she's a wonderful girl, and
I'm sure she is. Yeah,
she's actually the president of the Rossmore Rotary Club that sponsored her to a Rotary Youth Leadership Awards conference, RILA, and she did a dance there, and we were all saying at the review, this girl is going to go places, and there she is, Miss America last year.
There you go. Yeah, great. That's awesome.
So claim it if you can. Maybe she's a cousin. But
yeah, perhaps.
but that leads to you, Tracy, RILA, Rotary Youth Leadership Awards. Contact the people in your district. You need to do this at the RILA program. Maybe just one session on what it is you do with dance. And these are, they're older than what you usually work with. It's 16, 17, 18-year-olds. And bring some of the dance concepts to leadership. The freedom to express. The freedom to be silly. And own it and be comfortable with it, because children will do that.
Yes.
Teenagers are leery and adults are saying, what? We don't play anymore. We're not kids. And we need to be more playful. So I honor you and I think it's wonderful, but look into taking it into the Rotary Youth Leadership Awards program in your area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Sorry, that's it, Eddie. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Tracy, and I'll follow up with some more information for you about that. It's RILA is the acronym that we use, but it's essentially a multi-day leadership camp for high school students in the U.S. and then outside the U.S. It's actually generally people in their 20s. So we'll get you some more information about that too.
Okay.
I saw Russian's hand up next. Russian.
Awesome for RILA.
Tracy and Daniel and team, very, very cool work you're doing. Thank you for taking time to share with us. That's awesome. I'm curious how you capture the stories of the experiences of the children. In part, that's a question related to what you were saying and in terms of financial need. If they're telling their stories, it becomes a lot easier for you, right? But is there something that you're doing at this point to get quotes from them, especially on audio or video, so that you can begin to kind of pull that stuff together into very simple digital media pieces?
So until now, we've done written evaluations, and often we just got a beautiful letter yesterday. So we definitely have a lot of anecdotal, firsthand letters from children, from classroom teachers. We are currently working on an audio presentation for the Adams 14 School District, testimonials of the children about how profound this program is. And definitely we do need to do a lot more of that. And again, this is dream, right? If we had the resources, I would love to really track the children, through their lives. and have a whole alumni group, right, that comes back to us, that then interns for us, that because look, I got an email on Facebook from a child I taught, I don't know, 23 years ago, Michael. He said, I mean, it was so profound. Like, you completely transformed my life. I met him at St. Pat's School for emotionally challenged children in Long Island. You know, I mean, he was smacking his head against the wall, right? And now he tells me his life was completely transformed by the experience when I taught at National Dance Institute. So written, yes, lots of written, not enough oral. So thank you for that.
The one of the things to consider is how simple the tools have become. And one of the things that I'd suggest you guys look at is a thing called Adobe Spark. It's spark.adobe.com, but it's a free tool. You can take those amazing pictures that you were showing as a part of your presentation and, you know, just literally just hold a button while a kid says what the kid has to say. And it becomes very easy to create something very quickly and wouldn't cost you anything except a little bit of time. And like a lot of the best tech tools, they help you along the way. So, you know, as you jump into it, there's like little bits and bobs that are like, you know, here, you know, do this now. And my guess is that 15 minutes of playing on it, and you'd be like, whoa, crazy. So spark.adobe.com is one of many tools that are out there that would perhaps allow you to really ramp up some of the storytelling that can be so beneficial.
Thank you. I can't write because I've got my Dan, can you capture that? Spark.adobe.com. Okay, thank you.
Perfect. And I'll be sure to also include that in a follow-up email to you.
Okay.
I think that's all the time we have for questions, unless anyone wants to fit in a last comment and wants to wave their hand wildly, and I will call on them. Okay, seeing none, then Tracy, I'm going to turn it back to you for some closing comments, and we will end the meeting there.
Well, I am so grateful to meet all of you, meet you, and thank you so much for taking the time to learn about Celebrate the Beat. And please get in touch if you'd like to learn more. Please get in touch if you know a foundation, a corporation, anyone who you think would really resonate with supporting this work.
Terrific. Thank you again so much for your time, Tracy and Daniel. Our guests again this week have been Tracy and Daniel from Celebrate the Beat. Below this video will be links to their website as well as information about their organization. And if you haven't done so yet, please make sure you leave a comment at the bottom of this meeting. We'd love to hear about what you thought about the meeting, or if you have a question for Tracy or Daniel, go ahead and ask it in the comments, and we'll make sure that they get pinged when there's a question there. Thank you so much for joining us this week, and we hope to see you next week. Take care, everyone. Bye now.
Bye.